Well, I don't know. I have a question. I have never gotten high-speed internet from Cricket, and now I'm not complaining. I was treated with everything. I was treated with every excuse from customer service and some of their supervisors, and even a technical guy who told me, who were telling me my hotspot isn't going to work once I run out of high speed, but that's not true. In your terms and conditions, my hotspot will run at 128 kilobytes per second after I've gone through all my high speed. That's the way your terms and conditions read. Now, my 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 hotspot was cut down to the point where I couldn't even get into my email page, and I've been complaining about it. And today, the first time this happened, a well, this morning, because I was cut off last night, I had to send some important emails. I'm trying to help a guy who's got a court case, and I had needed to send an email to the presiding judge, and I also needed to send an email to his attorney, who had told him to not to show up at a hearing that he was ordered by the previous judge he saw to show up for without fail. So I try to get into my email page, and this always happens after your business office closes. that uh, I couldn't use my hotspot. I couldn't open up an email because I'm not even get. And I did have I previously this week, after I ran out of my high speed, I was able to get a hold of Geek Squad and two other websites on an intermittent basis, of course, because you keep cutting my speed down to less than like a full to less than 10 kilobytes a second. No kidding. I had this verified by three independent agencies. Now, this morning, when I was finally able to get a hold of somebody, I explained the problem to him, and apparently he didn't want to have an argument in the morning. And he adjusted my settings so that I'm getting 128 kilobytes of service, and I can get everywhere I need to go. My email opens up quickly enough. I can get into my Facebook, and I deal with musicians on Facebook. And I use Facebook and email and stuff to get jobs. I was actually able to put attachments on my emails with 128 kilobytes per second. So I'm wondering, when I renew my subscription, can I just have a hotspot that works at 128 kilobytes per second? And how much will that cost me?
No worries, I'll be more than willing to assist you and check for that information. Let me pull up the account first, okay?
My
So that we'll be able to verify. Thank you so much. Are we working on with your phone number 562, right? And our duty under federal law to protect this information, your decision will not affect your cricket service. Thank you so much. Let me pull up the account first, okay?
All right.
Okay. I also want to let you know, Jeff, that you can also manage your account using the My Cricket app on the phone or even online at cricketwireless.com. Okay?
All right.
Okay. Just give me one moment here. Okay, there you go. Already pull up the account. Let me just check here, okay? Is it okay, Jeff, to put you on hold for about 1 to 2 minutes while checking all information on my end here?
All right.
Thank you so much. Please stay on the line.
Well, I'm going to be on hold for a minute. All right, I'm here.
Hello. Yes, upon verifying here, Jeff, are
Am I presently
I'm
what?
actually hearing a background. Yes, I'm actually hearing background noise.
You're what?
I'm hearing a background noise. I
No.
can barely understand you.
Well, that's because your phone service stinks. I'm in a room and it's totally silent. This is only me.
Let me put you again on hold, then I'll get back to you. Just give me 1 minute. Hello, Jeff?
Yes?
Okay, there you go. Alright, Jeff, I'm verifying here. For the hotspot that you have on this line, okay? The hotspot is actually showing here that the hotspot doesn't have a data on it. Hotspot works, for adding hotspot is actually an access for you to be able to hook up another devices on your internet.
Excuse me.
Let's say
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Okay, the only thing I use my hotspot for is my laptop. I use my laptop to deal with my website, and I use my laptop to get into my email. I do not do email or anything on the web with my telephone because it just doesn't really happen to me or for me on any telephone I use. So I use my laptop. Now, today, with having no data on my hotspot, but getting 128 kilobytes per second, I was able to access everywhere that I usually go. I had no trouble. So I want to know what the cheapest plan is that I can get with a hotspot because, as I've told you, I have had my speed checked when I've had data on my hotspot. And I never get what you term high-speed data. I never get it. I never get a speed that even comes close to what anybody else would consider high-speed data. So I'm wasting my money having the $60 plan. Can I get a hotspot with a cheaper plan?
For the hotspot is compatible with $50 or $60 plan only.
All right, well we'll do that then. That's what I'll do when I re-up on the second. When I re-up on the second, I'm going to lower my price, and I'll get what, 5 kilobytes?
Yeah, 5 gigabytes high speed. 5 gigabytes.
Yeah, sorry, 5 gigabytes. But you know, of course, it's not going to be high speed. It never is. You people have given me several estimates of what customer service and supervisors are telling me your high speed is. But when I have speed checks done, speed tests by Geek Squad and 2 other independent websites, it never comes even close. Now so I'm like I'm just burning money, and the thing is today, and I've been told by customer service representatives, well, there's nothing we can do at this end. Today, I was connected and kept connected because the customer service representative who I talked to did the right thing and made your system up my speed to 128 kilobytes per second. Now, I understand that I may need to have to call you every night to make sure that this lasts the whole night through. Because what ends up happening is after your office closes, you drop my speed to under 10 kilobytes per second, and I just can't get anywhere. And I do my journalism, and I do my thing on the web, mostly after hours. I'm a musician, that's my schedule. But the fact that my speed drops drastically with whatever speed I'm running at after your office closes indicates to me that there may be intent here. I've had some bad truck with the federal government. I exposed the federal government for doing some things they shouldn't have done to a person. What the federal government has done amounts to the federal government allowing a Social Security's payee to rape them all of her life. For proving this by using a social security file of a person who I represented at an appeal and won, I spent 2 years in a federal prison for doing something that's totally illegal just by naming the names of federal and state agents who disregarded their duty as mandatory reporters and locked this person out of their offices when, as a child, she reported she was being raped. And I named every one of their names, and because that's the kind of guy I am. So, but if I can get by with only paying $60 a month, that'll only be 1/10 of my. I mean, I'm paying more than 1/10 right now of my monthly income from Social Security, who have cut my benefits in half because they want revenge, because I named the Social Security Administration as people who were aided and abetted rape. So I appreciate the information, and I am going to expect that I will be able to get on the web every time I use my hotspot. I'll be able to open up my email, and I'll be able to answer emails. You know, when I first started out, I was using a telephone Ethernet, and that was only running at around 65 kilobytes per second. I had no trouble accessing my email. I had no trouble getting into any website I wanted to. So I'm just going to go back to that, because apparently I can't get high speed from you, because what everybody else thinks is high speed, even your agency, my network isn't running at that. It doesn't run at that. And my telephone service is bad. You know, it's too bad that the people that I'm calling don't have the same controls that you do, because as you even said, you couldn't hear me. There was background noise. This is how your system is working for me. I need to be able to communicate, and you know, with this 128 kilobyte thing, today I haven't had any trouble sending pictures by text. But you know, up until today, I couldn't do it. Now I have a telephone that I bought from you, and it's part of a bait and switch deal. You told me you would sell me a telephone for a certain price. When I tried to buy it, I find out you never had it in stock in your warehouse. You only had it in stock in the furniture stores that you sell your phones out of. Well, I couldn't get it for $10 at the furniture stores, so I had to buy a more expensive phone. And you know what? That's called bait and switch. And the reason I had to buy another phone is because of your website page, which says bring your own phone. And I found out after 3 weeks that you cut me off. And then you told me, well, I can't use my Samsung Galaxy Core Prime because it doesn't comply with our system. Well, you know what? You people sell the Galaxy Core Prime. So it does. So you lied to me about that. So I bought an LG Spree, and now I find that when I get pictures in it, there's an error, and the pictures won't load, and I can't get them out of my phone. And my phone doesn't work with the Synco system, so I can just transfer everything that's in it through a USB connection. Now I want to send that phone back, and I don't think I should have to pay. I don't think I should have to pay a dime up front, but you're telling me that I have to, and you know, that's not right. You see, the thing is defective, and I mean, like, all I had to do is touch it on if I put my hand on a certain place in the back of my phone where there's no control, it'll start typing numbers and letters into my text. I can put this phone in my pocket. I can turn this phone off, turn the screen off so that it's supposed to be inactive, put it in my pocket, and it will start sending text to people. It will dial people. And my phone shouldn't do that. Nobody's phone should. And I should get another phone. And I shouldn't have to pay an extra dime to do it. But I suppose I may have to. So I'll deal with that problem after the 3rd of next month. Because, and I was also told today that if I call you on the 3rd of next month, I'm going to be able to have my billing date changed because it's falling too close to the 1st. And the 1st is when I get my check. And so I'm going to have another day just to make sure that money's in the bank when I pay you. And you know, a couple months ago, because of this same concern, I was told that you guys were going to change my billing date to the 5th. One of the reasons for that is because I couldn't use my phone for almost a week because you wouldn't authenticate my hotspot. I don't know why that happened. I was using your phone. I had paid for it, but you wouldn't authenticate my hotspot for a week. So I got an $85 credit, you know, but credits aren't like getting your money back. So I'm going to try to take care of that on the 3rd, like I was told. But I kind of have the feeling that that's not going to fly either. But I am going to try this for another month at $50 a month, 10 more with the hotspot, and I expect this thing to work, and I expect not to get any kind of a guff from anybody, because I fully expect to run out of 5 gigabytes way before the end of my billing cycle. And as I have seen today, my phone works as a hotspot doing 128 kilobytes per second, and I can do whatever I need to do. So I just want you to keep my speed at a constant level. If my speed drops below the point where I can stay on the web, and I'm in my website, I've spent 16 years making that website. It's an informational website. It was so important to me to tell the truth that I spent 2 years in a federal prison because I made that website. I have had 2 federal judges order the Justice Department and U.S. Marshals to stay out of my website, an order which they violated. It took me over a year to fix my website after I got out of stir. This is very important to me. And if you guys cut me down to a level where I lose a page, where I lose contact with my website while I'm putting an entry in it, I could lose the whole page. And if I do that, I will get even. I will, and you know what? I don't care how I get even, because I'm already a felon. All right? I'm not going to consider this a threat. I'm not going to consider this a true threat. But shit will happen. All right? Do not make me lose a page of my website. Ever. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure assisting you. Have a good one. Bye for now.
Thank you.